March, tail end of March 2016. Here we are, we're getting ready for the new season of campers and visits and general stuff like that. But what I want to talk to you about today was ground preparation that I've been doing for vegetables. What you're looking at out there is stage one of the ground that we had here. And apologies, I don't have specific shots of this bit on this video, but you will have to, if you're interested, look back at Old Allen's 3, I think it is, and there's a great big bonfire going on in that, and that was a bonfire. It was just out here on this grassy area. You can actually see the remains of it just there. That was about 2 years ago. Prior to that, we had land just like this. It was bramble, nettle, thistle, very, very rough ground. What I did after that was turfed it. Well, didn't turf it, I seeded it, prepped it, seeded it, and got on with regular mowing of it. So that turned it into that. Great thing about grass, it's easy to control. It chokes most other weeds, and the regular maintenance and mowing of it keeps those weeds under control. So whilst all the roots of the bramble were still in place in the ground, they kept getting their energy taken off them because they'd get mowed every week and a half or so. What I then did was built this fence out of reclaimed materials, which were on site here. This is a fence which is designed to keep deer out. This is muntjac deer, so this is to keep the deer out from this area for when I've got vegetables growing in here. But of course now I had a problem. I'd fenced this bit in, which meant it wasn't terribly easy to get a mower in and out of here, and if something's not easy then people aren't going to do it generally. So this area would have gone wild, because remember, the bramble was all still in here. So we've done stage 1, clear the bramble, have a big burn up. Stage 2, seed it and mow it. Stage 3, once I put the fence up, stage 3, I needed to cover the ground to carry on killing off the weeds that were in the ground. So fortunately for me, I had this rather unattractive blue cover, which was a swimming pool cover, and it came out of a job I was doing where I needed to tidy the place up, and this large swimming pool cover needed to go, so that became a really handy way of smothering the weeds. Now, because it's not porous, after some time I did punch some holes in it because I was concerned about the ground underneath drying out too much. So I just literally went over it with a fork and bashed the holes. So stage 4 very simply meant that I'd got ground which was flat, fairly hard, or very hard. It's a clay soil here, and it was mostly free of weeds at this point. There are still on the edges, if I just move this slightly, you can see an ingress there of nettle roots there, but that's only on the edges. The main area was clear. Now this is where the contentious bit comes in. Dig on the one hand, or no dig on the other hand. For this site I am digging. This ground hasn't been worked. It's been rough pasture, bramble, etc, etc for a good number of years, probably at least 30 years. That in itself is not necessarily a problem for the no dig method, of course not, but there's a couple of things that stopped me doing the no dig. One, although I'd got a supply of manure organised from locally, the farm next door, I had to shift it myself, which meant my small van and trailer which is not really a problem, but beyond a certain time of year, with this being a very heavy clay soil here, it becomes undrivable across the field from the gate to here. You do so much damage to the ground that beyond about, in a dry summer, beyond the end of October really, you don't want to be driving on it, so October, November time. So I couldn't get the manure on the ground ahead of winter. Also, I had no guarantees that there weren't any leftover medications from the horses. I mean, if those horses had been on bute, for instance, that sticks around. Really don't want that in the food chain. So I thought, well, I'll get it dug, get it roughly dug, and I will get on with, then because it's weed free, I can rotivate to get a slightly finer tilth, because I haven't got a full-on rotivate, I've got a tiller, so I need to break it first, and then I can till it down to a slightly finer thing. And then this first year, really, it's just going to be potatoes in here, because potatoes are good at further breaking down the soil. They need so much movement of soil in their production anyway, that again helps, and they also help to suppress weed as well. So this year, just going to be potatoes to get me started off. But we're on to the next phase now. Here we've got stages, I'm running out of brain cells here, we've got stages 4 I think. What did we have? We had clear the bramble, burn it, seed it and mow it. Then we had cover it, that's 3. So stage 4 is dig it, and this is digging, this is stage 4, this is just roughly broken up big lumps. If I'd done this ahead of winter, I could have left it like that to break down on its own, but again I ran out of time. So just out of interest, that's bramble, that's a dead bramble, another dead bramble. So these are just getting hoiked out and chucked over into the living bramble. Right, so that's stage 4, that side there. Stage 5 is this side here, so this is just after it's been rotivated using this small tiller up here. So that is stage 5, and that is ready to plant potatoes into. So as I get potatoes going throughout the year, hopefully I'll come back to this and you'll be able to see them growing, and fingers crossed I'll be able to, once I've got my recycled rabbit netting in place, I'll be able to keep the rabbits out as well as the deer, and everything should be good. So here's to a first harvest of potatoes from Old Allen's. Fingers crossed, guys. So thanks for watching this quick little Old Allen's update. If you've enjoyed it, tell your friends, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't enjoyed it, tell me why. Send me a comment. I don't mind negative comments because I can use them. I dislike just dislikes because they don't help me at all, but give me negative feedback, that's fine. Just let me know how I'm doing.